Thank you so much, Louise. Hello, everyone, and welcome to OTF Connects. This is our first webinar for the 2015-2016 school year, and it certainly is great to be back. It's my pleasure to welcome Andrew Buronsky, who will be facilitating tonight's webinar on OTF Planboard lesson planning for a digital age. Andrew has facilitated numerous webinars for OTF Connects and always brings so much enthusiasm and many creative and useful ideas to share. Tonight, as part of the OTF Planboard, Andrew will be demonstrating how to access the teacher resources on the OTF website, where we have over 250 lessons in different subject areas and different levels. I would like to thank each of you for giving of your own time to join us tonight. It's wonderful to have so much, well, I'm assuming we've got representation from across the province, and it's absolutely delightful to have so many new participants joining us here tonight. I'm now very happy to pass the mic over to Andrew. Or Louise, did you want to do the map first?
Yes, so first session in a few months, so a little bit rusty on some of those things. We did not demonstrate the, oh, sorry, that's our timer to get our recording started, which we've done. Look at that, we're ahead of the game. The map of Ontario, we would love for you to be able to plot where your location is on this map of Ontario, and to do that, we have some whiteboard tools. And those of you who are on a mobile device, you're going to just get to watch at this point, so you can type where you are into the chat. But those of you that are on a computer will find a tall vertical strip of whiteboard tools down the left-hand side of your whiteboard space. And the very last button on the bottom of that strip is called our clip art. And when you select that, you're going to get a pop-up window, and you're going to want to click on the Common Symbols tab. And once you're there, you're going to be able to slide around and pick a fun little icon and drop it in the map in the location you're approximately in. Great, we've got some people on mobile devices letting us know where they are in the chat. Oh wow, look at that crowd in Southern Ontario. Okay, so I will hand things back over to Syria, but continue to plot yourself on the map there for a few seconds, and we'll keep on moving.
Thank you, Louise. And again, I'd like to welcome Andrew, and happy to pass the mic over to you, Andrew. Welcome, Andrew.
Thanks, Syria, and welcome to everyone else, and thanks for joining us tonight. So I get the pleasure to talk to you guys about OTF Planboard. I've been using it for a number of years myself now, and I find it a fantastic tool. If you've used it before and then left it for a while, it's evolved greatly over time, so you might learn some new things that you have played around with it before. All right, so we're looking at lesson planning in the digital age, and I've always been fond of organizing myself online, and to start, I just want to talk a little bit about myself, though. So I'm a high school teacher that works in the Futures Forum project at Huron Heights Secondary in Kitchener in the Waterloo Region 6 School Board. I've had the pleasure to do a variety of projects during my classroom time, and outside the classroom, I also get to work as an educational technology mentor to a variety of startup companies of the Velocity program, which is part of the University of Waterloo. And last year I had a chance to run a TEDx Kitchener Ed event, which was really cool. I highly recommend to anyone looking to take that on. All right, so when I put this presentation proposal into the OTF, I really focused kind of on where we're going with education, how do we look at our lesson plans, and Planboard's been a great use for me in that way. And so I really like this quote, even though it's relatively old now, is saying that if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday's, we rock them up tomorrow. And technology has really come a long way in the past even 5 or 10 years, and our classrooms are starting to shift a great deal with it. And I've kind of found for myself, at least in the early going, my lesson plans weren't. I was still looking at the system I went through as a student and not kind of really evolving with the times. And as I started evolving with my lesson planning, and what I was bringing to the classroom, having my students leverage tools in the classroom and digital devices and things online, my lesson planning needed to kind of catch up with that. And then when I was looking at my paper day planner, that didn't really jive very well with what I was doing. And then I kind of shifted over to doing a Microsoft Word or Excel file and trying to organize myself that way. And again, it was still not very intuitive and not very helpful how it was going. I also kind of love to start off the slide here, and just because it always makes me laugh when I see it. And like we have like the opportunity to do really amazing things with our students in our classes now, and we need a way to organize ourselves to work around that. So with that idea in mind, looking for a time for a change here. The way we've lesson planned in the past doesn't really match what we're doing with our lessons today, and I was looking in a lot of places to try and find something that would kind of fit that hole for me, and I landed on Planboard, I would say almost about 3.5 or 4 years ago now, and fortunately OTF did a bit of a partnership with them, and they've evolved together that way too. So a big thing about Planboard is that it's an online digital lesson planner. So moving away from that paper daybook you're using, or like I said for myself, a lot of the start of semesters as a secondary teacher, I would take the calendar, I would go and make a table in Microsoft Word, and I kind of try and map out what I'm doing this semester that way and follow myself that way. Of course, my lessons didn't always go to plan, and then it was really a giant pain in the butt to kind of go and adjust everything, move things around, and try and readjust and bring that digital content in. So Planboard is a really perfect marriage for what you're doing with online, whether if you're using Google Drive, there's some really nice integrations there, if you're using Office 365, or basically anything you're using online, Planboard is a great way to bring that into your classroom and organize yourself around it. So just a kind of a quick intro here to Planboard. They are owned by a company called Chalk.com. They started off as Planboard as an original tool. As they're evolving, they've evolved into another company now called Chalk.com, who's looking to build out a suite of tools. So Planboard was their first one, looking at online lesson planning. They've also created Markboard, which is relatively new, and it's looking at taking care of your Markbook online and the evolution for that. They're also looking to build things out like a 10-board and a suite and kind of a home base for teachers to go through and share and connect, which we'll talk a little bit about today as well. All right, so looking at Planboard here, if you don't have a Planboard account, I would actually like you to take the time to go and set one up in this, because there's going to be some times to stop here and play. I don't like talking for the entire time of the presentation, just as I don't like in the classroom. So you have a chance to go on, actually play some things. My plan for this presentation is to kind of show you what I'm doing. Feel free to ask a question at any point through this presentation, but just so you know, I've kind of chunked into sections where I'll go through and show you some basics. I've got some screenshots to demonstrate things for you. And then I've got a video for you to watch and kind of see it in action, and then there'll be a chance for you to go and play, and then come back and ask any questions you might have. So make sure you have a chance to see it in action, try it out for yourself, and then come back and we can troubleshoot anything you're working through. All right, and good timing here, Susan, you set me up well. There is an iPad app for Planboard. You can download for the App Store, it's completely free. And I should have mentioned from the start, OTF Planboard is completely free. We'll get to a spot where you can go to set up here. But as you're working through this, if you have a Planboard account and it doesn't have the OTF tag with it, you can email Chalk.com and get an OTF Planboard account. So if you've started playing with Planboard already, but would like to upgrade to an OTF account, we'll show you how to do that. If you've never had an account before, we're going to give you the link here to set up right into an OTF Planboard account, and I'll talk about the differences between the two in a little bit. So there is an iPad app right now. I can tell you if there's dates, but I know they're coming out with an iPhone app, and they're also working on Android as well, so that is in the pipes and is coming soon. All right, so I mentioned I have a link there too. So if you've never signed up for a Planboard account, I recommend you go to www.planboardapp.com/OTF, and it'll take you to sign up there and go create an account. So I'm just going to give everyone 30 seconds or a minute to go ahead, jump and do that now if you don't have one. If you do have one, if you want to open up a browser and get logged in and then come back here, I'll get the actual formal presentation started soon, showing how to use it. And just as we're going to get set up there, if you're wondering about the difference between the two, I saw, I think Louise mentioned there that OTF Planboard has unlimited storage. So one thing you can use Planboard for is uploading any worksheets or attachments or files you have in your classroom. So they actually give you, with OTF Planboard, you have unlimited cloud storage. So you can actually tie off whatever sheets or pages or images or videos you want to specific lesson plans and carry them with you forward. So the unlimited storage feature is very nice. Another nice thing about having access to OTF Planboard as opposed to the regular Planboard account is that you get very quick and easy access to a variety of lesson plans that OTF has created. And you can, with a few clicks, you can simply import those into your lesson planning. I'll show you how to do that towards the end of the presentation today too. And then so again, if you can just jump into a web browser right now and sign into your OTF or Planboard account or your Planboard account. And if you've done that, give us a green check mark off to the side, and then we'll kind of head on here and I'll show you guys how to set up your classes and your schedule for OTF Planboard. And Susan, I'll show you to get search if you're looking at setting up some stuff. I think you're talking about the curriculum tagging. It is in there, it's just their search is a little different, so I'll go through that with you in a sec here. And no, the OTF section is about you downloading lessons from OTF, not you giving your lessons to OTF. All right, I'm going to head on along this presentation here. So if you want to leave your browser and Planboard for right now and come back to the presentation, I'll show you and go through the basic setup here, how to get your courses started, how to get your planner started, and then you'll have a chance to kind of go back and play. All right, so if you're going into Planboard for the very first time to create an account, it's probably going to take you through a little basic setup, and you're going to end up creating a semester a year here. If you've created the account before, if you click in the very top hand left-hand corner where you see the three little bars and click on semesters, you can come to the screen here and create a semester that you're working in. Okay. So a few basic things on here. You can get a chance to add a new semester. You can edit and delete at any time. So if you want to just play around with things tonight, don't worry that you're going to screw anything up. You're welcome. You can go back and change it, edit at any point. You can delete, you can start fresh. So feel free to play and do your own thing tonight. All right, so you can name your semester. It's totally up to you what you'd like to name it, and then you want to pick your start date and end date. I think almost everyone here tonight is in the secondary panel, but just in case, you choose your start and end date. You can create multiple semesters, one after the other. At the bottom there, it checks off the days you're working through, so you'll see it's checked off Monday through Friday by default, but you can personalize that for yourself as well. Once you click to go ahead from there, if one asks you to create up your semester, it's going to ask you to add your subjects. Again, you can have as many or little here as you like. So up in the top right-hand corner where it says add subject, just give it a quick click there. Click on to enter a name for it. Again, you can name it whatever you like. And then you get this option to personalize with colors. That might not make a lot of sense right now, but I really highly recommend you give a different color to each different subject you create or different course you're putting in, because when you get into your actual lesson planner, it gives you really nice visual cues to kind of see what you're working with. Okay, and you can add multiple subjects here, so you can keep adding once you go. Again, don't worry about getting them now. When we get a chance to play here in a sec, you can just add a few in, and then you can come back and add more later, adjust or edit one along those lines too. If you also teach multiple sections, this might work, say if you're a core French teacher in elementary and going off and teaching the same class to a variety of classes of students, or as a secondary teacher, if you're teaching multiple sections of the same course, you can, instead of creating a separate subject, you can create multiple sections. And one of the nice things you can do with Planboard is you build a lesson plan for one, you can have it automatically import to the other one as well if you want to follow lockstep, or you can adjust them at any point in time as well. So I highly recommend creating multiple sections there too if you want. Once you've got your subjects set up here, like you'll see in the top pane right, it has a little spot that says timetable. You're going to click on that and we're going to go set to your timetable after this here. Again, if I'm going too quickly for anyone, it's just because there's a lot I want to get through tonight. These screenshots will be here and available for you. There'll be a recording of this presentation that I'll access after the fact. And I actually have some video demos in here for you as well. You're going to have a chance to kind of go and see in action again, and actually see me do it if the screenshots aren't working for you. Okay, so once you've created your subjects and add your subjects in, you need to set your rotation. This can be a really daunting task. As I said, Planboard has evolved greatly over time. And it started off relatively basic, and now it's really robust, and there's a lot of different ways for you to set the rotation. If you think about it, every school's kind of got their own way of doing things. They've done a great job of kind of giving you a chance to really get it to the way you want it to look. So when you go to insert a class here, click on insert class, you can choose which class you're looking to do. You put the times it's in, and then you're going to check off the days it's for. The key piece to this, and you can see the screenshot here shows for a 5-day rotation. If you look in the top right-hand corner there, it says select your rotation. There are your options there. So you have the options of weekly, I think bi-weekly, monthly, or it goes from anywhere from a 1-day rotation all the way up to a 12 or 14-day rotation, I believe. So you got a lot of chances for personalization there. You can even, when you're in your calendar, you can reset to a day. So I'll give you an example of what that might look like. My high school in Kitchener runs on a 2-day rotation, but our afternoon periods flip. So in my afternoon it would be DE on day 1 and then ED on day 2. And the way we follow that and know which day it is by the calendar day of the year, whether it's an odd number or an even number. So for example, at the end of the month, we might run into 2-day ones because we're going to end on the 31st and start on the 1st the next day. I'll show you there's a recycle button. Maybe you can kind of just refresh that and it kind of fixes your schedule all the way going through. One of the great things I love about Planboard is that it allows you a great deal of personalization. It's easy to make quick adjustments on the fly, where in the past, if I was using a Microsoft Word file, which I used for a few years with a table, anytime I had to change something, it took me a long time to change it. Teachers usually enjoy snow days, so we had a day off. For the most part, we stay home and do some marking, but I used to hate them because I would get up in the morning on a snow day and spend the first 45 minutes of my morning readjusting my Word file or my Excel file to kind of adjust and move everything ahead of day. With Planboard, it's going to be a simple click of a button to move ahead. All right, anyways, once you have a course in here, you're going to select the days you're going to be teaching that course on and the time slot they're going to be in there. Once you've done that, you'll start seeing them popping in here. If they have different times or different spots, you can kind of come back and just keep adding. So you might have a course that you teach on day 1 and day 3 from 9 to 10, and on day 2 and 4 that you teach from 10 to 11. You do that twice and insert those there. Once you've added them in, you can kind of click and drag and move things around to see as you like, and do some personalization is there as well. Another thing I highly recommend you do is that there's that semester settings up to the top right-hand corner as well. If you click on that, it's going to pop up a calendar. If you click on Add Holidays and select Canada, it will default in all the national holidays that are there for Canada. You can edit them there if you like. And you can also go and add in your own off days. So I'd recommend going and adding in your PD days, anything else where your students are coming in for a day of the week that you would normally be teaching. Add those in, and the nice thing is you won't be able to enter or edit those days specifically, and your lesson plans will shift around those, which is a really nice feature as well. Okay, that went through the basic setup. Again, like I said, I want to get through everything here, so if I was going too quickly for anyone, I apologize. But with all that said, I always like showing you actually what it looks like instead of just looking at screenshots. So what I've done here is I made a screen recording. It's about 8 or 9 minutes long. It actually shows it all for you in action. Feel free to kind of play, pause, move around, jump into things. And then after this video, there'll be a chance for you to kind of go and play around with yourself and come back and ask questions. So I'm going to ask Louise if you can grab that link and drop it off into the left-hand side here. I believe, and Louise, feel free to correct me, instead of having people watch it here, we're going to have them go off and watch it on their own. Is that correct?
We can do a little bit of both. I am just going to finish answering the question here for Denise about changing the current account. And the Chalk support people are really good about getting a regular Planboard account switched over to an OTF Planboard account. So if you need to start with a regular one tonight while they respond to my support ticket of the problems with the link, hopefully that'll get resolved quickly. In the meantime, there's a link in the chat that you can click on that's going to open the video that Andrew just mentioned. I am also going to open it in a web tour for those of you that are new to using Blackboard to get a feel for what this does as well. If you're on a mobile device, you will not see it in the web tour space, and you will need to click on the link in the chat.
Hi, this is Andrew Bronsky, and we're taking you through the basic setup for OTF. So the first thing you want to do is come to the website. So if you're looking at my browser, you can see that www.planboard.com/OTF. I'll bring this screen here. I'm going to come here and click on login. And take me to the Chalk.com webpage. Planboard is an app within the Chalk.com suite. So I'm going to have an email address here. Password, and I recommend you stay logged in. That way you can come back to the website so you can pop right in for you. All right, Louise, I'm going to ask you if you can bring us back to the presentation slides here.
We're going to talk about a website called Planboard.
Thank you. Okay, so hopefully my screenshots and some of the video there helped you kind of get through and give you an idea about how to set up your schedule. It's probably one of the most difficult pieces just because there's so many different ways to do your schedule across schools all across the world. So with that in mind, I'm going to give you a chance to say about 5 minutes here to go and play with yourself. So go log in, try and play. Some of you are there. If you're still working through the video, that's fine. Keep going. If you've got any questions, please feel free to come back here and ask. You can put it in the chat, or if someone wants to jump on the mic, feel free, and you can do that too. That might save us a little time if you have a working microphone. So right now, I'll say about 4 or 5 minutes. Go and try and set up your account. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask. Yeah, Denise, if you have a mic, feel free to click on the talk button in the top left there underneath your profile.
Hi, can you hear me, Andrew?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, quick question for you. So I've been using Planboard for a while, but I cannot figure out how to change templates that I've associated with particular sections and courses.
Okay, so when you open up, it should ask you there to like select a template when you open up a specific lesson. Is that one way that's allowing you to switch? Have you tried that?
Well, every day, it's not allowing me to have it set as like a standard. So every day when I do my planning, I'm having to reset up the template. So the template set, let's say for my grade 9 applied English crew, is coming up as a grade 10 mathematics template. So I'm just wondering how I can get around that.
Right, okay, so they just changed a bunch of things in the interface. Like, they've been making great changes, but it's tough to keep track of everything. So the first place I would go would be under semesters there and click on the course and settings and jump into the specific subject itself. And there should be a spot there for you to select a default or no template to tie to that course. Or the other spot is like when you open up a specific lesson planner, which we'll get to again in a sec, but you haven't talked about because you've used it before, you should be able to select a template there or unselect a template there as well. And sorry, Denise, did that make sense?
Absolutely, it made sense. Thank you very much.
No worries. Hi, Kelly. The way Planboard has it set up is for the Ontario curriculum, at least, they've defaulted to the entire set for a course. So you have access to all of them there. If you want to go and personalize yourself, you can actually go in and build your own and actually share them online if you want, or keep it to yourself. But the way Planboard has it set up, when you tie an entire curriculum to a specific course or subject, it brings out the entire database that's there. So, like, for example, I think in my 2D English class, there's 87 specific curriculum strands. Okay, the buzzer went there, and I am conscious of time, so I do want to kind of get through everything here because there's a lot to show all of you, and I want to give you a chance to see it all. I am happy to stick around at the end and answer any questions afterwards, so feel free to do that too, and there'll be spots up here to answer questions as well. But I'm going to move ahead here with everything. So hopefully you got a chance to look and figure out how to set up your semester and get your subjects in there. Again, it's not set in stone, so you can go back, edit, delete, add in at any point in time. But now I kind of want to head off into looking at the basic functionality. So what happens when you've got your schedule set up, and let's look at your planner now. So navigating your way through OTF Planboard here. Once you get in, you're going to have some basic functionality here. So toward the top right-hand corner there, you have the options to look at your planner in a daily view, a week view, a monthly view, or a unit view. Again, this has evolved over time. Everyone's got their own preferences. I personally really like working in the weekly view, which is kind of what you have in this screenshot here. A lot of people prefer the daily view. I like jumping in the monthly view a lot to kind of get an overview of where I'm coming at and what kind of my lesson plans for a course overall. But there's different ways to do that. If you look in the top middle of the screen, you'll see the date you're at. You can click on the calendar there to jump to another date very quickly. You can also click the arrow to jump in, if you're in the weekly view, to jump 1 week ahead or back a week with the left arrow, or if you're in the daily view to jump ahead a day or back a day. So there's a lot of different views you can get here. There's also a lot of different things you can do this. So keep in mind, if you're not familiar with cloud-based technology, this is all completely web-based. It's not tied to a specific device or a computer or an iPad at all. It's all saved to the web. So you can do some editing at home on your personal desktop computer, and then come into school the next day. If you have a laptop or a computer in the classroom or in the office, you can jump on there, log into your Planboard account, and everything's there for you. You can edit on one, and it'll be saved on the other one for you. So it's access kind of wherever you go. So it's a really, really nice setup that way. With that in mind, there are different sharing options here. So at any point in time, you can create a print, and it'll kind of create a print file for you. You can print it off right away if you want paper copies. I personally would recommend, if you're kind of moving to digital space, to try and stay digital, but if you want that paper copy, it's there for you as an option. You can also create a PDF. My school, my board, I'm very fortunate in one of the regions to have really good, reliable Wi-Fi now. That wasn't the case for me 3 years ago when I started using Planboard though. So I would kind of plan my own lessons out for the week, and then Sunday night, I would create a PDF copy of my lessons for that week, and that way if the Wi-Fi was down, I had access to those PDF copies. I could pull them up still. You can also share the resources, which is a brand new functionality from Planboard. It's in a pilot program right now. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. Okay. So it's basically toggle views. If you want to ever edit a lesson, you can just click into any specific day, and the editor will pop up, and we'll get to that a little more in a sec. So those are the basics for the functionality here. Moving ahead, this would be the daily view. So in the daily view, I get a really large, quick snapshot of my screen. I can scroll up and down to see all the content. Off to the right, it looks like a yellow sticky note, and that's what it's there to kind of function as. You can type in whatever you like there. It can be a notepad for something to do for that specific lesson. I personally use it as to make notes for myself after a lesson to see how it went. I just I know, make sure I change this next time, or add this in, or take this out. That's there kind of personally for you. And then you can see the calendar. You can jump ahead to any day you want there. And you can, again, see the day, week, month, or unit view from there as well. So this is your daily view. If I jump into the week view, again, here I can get a snapshot of my courses. I can just see the first two courses for my day here, but I can scroll down and see the others for the day as the time moves ahead. This is your monthly view. So each lesson, if you give it a title, the title is what will show here. So you can get a very quick snapshot of what your lessons are looking like throughout the month. You can jump month by month, see what days you have things planned for, which ones you don't. And lastly, and this has only came out in the past 7 months, I would say, is their unit view. I'll get to how to tag things off as specific units, but within specific subjects or courses, you can now very quickly set them up as units as well. And when you come into the unit view here, you'll be able to see an entire list of your courses throughout the semester, what units they're tagged off as, and you can click and drag and edit very easily. So you can move things around, you can share. It's a really nice feature to kind of organize yourself and work in units a lot in your courses. Second part of the basic functionality here, if you click up on the top left-hand corner there, you get a variety of options. This is where you can check your curriculum expectations, which I'll talk about a little more. If you set those up for your courses when you went and set them up for the first time and tied the Ontario curriculum to them, I'll show that to you, and there's some tracking there. This is where you can get to your subjects. You can get back to your semester edit here. There's a variety of options. So basically, if you're looking to do something with Planboard, this is a good place to start. And so I mentioned standards expectations. So if you click on the expectations there, and it might say standards for Planboard, not very Ontario friendly, which is where they're from, but they do a lot of business in the US as well. Looking from this here, you can look at specific sections you're teaching. So you can see there for me, this is an example of a 2D English course. There are 85 overall specific expectations. And when I opened this up and took the screenshot, I had covered off 6 of them. So I can see the little green bar there moving across saying in my lesson planning so far this year, I've tagged off 6 of the 85 specific curriculum expectations. If I clicked on that bar, it'll take me to a view of that, which I'll show you in a sec, but I can kind of really follow myself. I don't use this a great deal myself, but I'll check in maybe 5 or 6 times throughout a semester. So maybe at the quarter point, halfway point, I can see how I'm doing at covering off the curriculum I'm supposed to be working through. If I click on that green bar though, it'll take me to a specific space, and I'll show you a bit later in the video where you can actually see the very specific strands of what you have done, what you haven't done, their descriptions for them. Okay, that's the basic navigation through Planboard. Now I want to kind of slide into what it looks like to actually do some lesson planning here, which is hopefully what most of us are here for. So at any point in time, if I click into a specific day, and this is just little boxes for our courses, an editor pops up that looks like this. It will look very similar to Microsoft Word, Google Docs, whatever you're used to. A very normal editor. So you can click in, you've got the basics like bold, italics, underline. You can do a bolded list, which I love doing for my lesson plans. There's numbered lists. And those are the real basics. But then that's where Planboard gets really, really cool and has some really cool features here. And kind of when I created the presentation title for this, talking about lesson planning in the digital age, I find many teachers are bringing in digital resources in their classroom, be it websites or videos or images or whatever it may be, but we don't have a really good planner to organize ourselves around. Those things don't adjust very well with a daybook planner that's made of paper, or it doesn't work with that Microsoft Word table that I was using for a long time. Planboard is a really, really great option to kind of bring all those things together and organize yourself. So within a specific lesson here, I can insert an image from the web or off of my desktop. I can embed a video right in here, so video watches and plays right from this player here. I can attach any files to this. I'll get to that in a sec. I can link off to anything. So if I come in here and just click, it jumps off to the website I want to go to. I'm not typing out a full web address or copy and pasting and trying to find it. Just click, and there it goes. So those are really cool. Down the bottom left in there where it says add standards, that's where I can tag my expectations. So if I click on that, it pops up a box specific to this course. So this is my grade 10 academic English course. If I open that up, it will have all of the grade 10 curriculum expectations there for an academic course, and I can tick off which ones I'm using and do that tracking. You can also upload files here, and one of the great keys of having specifically an OTF Planboard account is the unlimited cloud storage. So you can upload PDFs, PowerPoints, Word files, whatever it is you like, videos, images, and those will be tied into this specific lesson plan, and you've got unlimited storage there for them. Also very new, it's not even on the screenshot. I did some updated ones for you there, and I just saw someone ask it, Irene. It has integration with Google Drive. So if it'll actually show the little Drive icon there. If you click on that Google Drive icon, it'll ask you for permissions one time to access your Google account. You have to sign in. But once you've done that, by clicking on that Drive icon, you can go right into your Drive, find any files out of Google there, attach them to this lesson plan. It'll be an active link. So that's one thing I really love. So having dozens and dozens of folders within Drive, I can actually organize my lesson plans with the specific worksheets, notes, resources that I have stored there, tied right to my Planboard account in these lessons. And it's a really phenomenal tool. It's one I was kind of pushing the team to work on for a while. They finally put it in there, and I was very happy when they added that Google Drive integration. Okay, moving ahead here. So that's like the basics of going in and adding content into a specific lesson for you. You have a variety of options there too, and this just changed, so it's a little different, but the options are the same, but the way it looks is a little different. So if you click on options of this specific lesson plan, you get a variety of options here. So the first thing is you can copy a lesson. So again, you can post it somewhere else. Again, if you're teaching the same subject with multiple sections, you can copy one lesson over to another one very easily here. You can move things, and this was, again, so nice for me. Again, with that Microsoft Word file in the past, or my paper day planner, I was like erasing all the time and trying to move things around, or have arrows going all over the place. I can move things around in that Word file. Again, I was copying and pasting consistently. Like I said, on the snow day, I would have to go and probably spend half an hour to 45 minutes just moving everything up a day and copy and pasting, cutting out. With Planboard, it's a simple click. If I click to, say, shift a lesson forward today, it moves all my other 50 lessons I've got planned for that semester into the correct dates going ahead. If I marked off the holidays and PD days, it'll move everything right to where they're supposed to be with a simple click. It's an absolutely fantastic tool. And the last option here, which I love using, but it's not something anyone needs to use, is the share lesson option. And it gives you a variety of options to share your lessons. One thing you can do is an embed code. If you're familiar with embed, they'll actually show up on a web page. So if you've got a course website, you can go and actually embed your lessons right on the site so parents and students can see them right on there. The other option is you can create a unique link to a specific lesson. So it's not an editing tool like Google Docs where someone else can edit it. It just creates a new option or new view for anyone else to view that lesson. So again, this is not something you need to do, but this is something I love doing myself. So I've got a course website. I create links to all my lessons and I'll post them there. And so the student's away or if they're working homework at home at night and they want to come back to the lesson with mom and dad, they can just go to my website, click the link, and it'll take them right to the lesson plan. They've got all the resources there. They've got the links to the Google Drive files I'm using or the PDFs they need to download. It's a really, really nice feature to kind of get your stuff out there and share it with them. But again, it's totally up to you if you choose to share your lessons or not online. Other options in sharing. You can also email. So another feature I love personally, if you've got a family emergency that pops up first in the morning, if you've got a son or daughter who's sick, or if you find out you wake yourself very ill yourself, you're not going to make it in that day, you can come into Planboard, open up your lesson plans, click on the email function in sharing, say type in the head secretary for your school, your department head, the attendance VP, whoever it may be, click send, and your lesson plans are sent off for the day. Again, such a nice feature, really quick and easy. I love it. I've done that variety times myself. It's a very nice feature. So I mentioned sharing again. It's a little different option here, but again, you can print, you can download as a PDF, you can embed it onto another website, or you can create a unique link. So again, if you use this option, it's just to that specific lesson you're on, and that link, if you share it with someone else, if they click it, they'll just get a viewable version of your lesson plans for that day, or lesson plan for that specific lesson rather. And this is what it'll look like. So you can see if I'm going to jump back one here. So here I am in a specific lesson looking to share it. And then if I jump ahead again, if I share that link with someone, this is what they're going to see. So again, I've done this with my students. This is my first day of the semester last year. So you can jump in here. There's a few things. I've embedded a video right in this lesson so my students can jump on the lesson and watch this video from home if they wanted. I shared my course outline in here. If you look off to the right, you'll see a couple files I've attached. Those are right out of my Google Drive. So again, it creates a viewable link for my students. So they come in here, they click on the course outline, the form I want them to fill out for information for that day, and they have access to those things right here. It's a really nice tool, really nice feature that way. I've actually had 6 students who were missing class who have jumped in and actually engaged with the rest of the class during the class from home because they had that link to that lesson and were able to engage still. And as someone asked about earlier, there's Google Drive access now, which again is a huge, huge feature for me. I'm in a Google Master Education School Board. I love using Google Drive with my students. And so in your lesson that are here, if you click on the Drive icon and you give it that one-time permission to access your files, you'll be able to attach any of your Google Drive stuff right to your lesson plans here and organize them. That was a big moment for me because that's where I'm creating most of my content for my courses now and my lessons that I want to share with my students. And so having that integration here really helps organize myself well that way as well. So if you access that Drive icon, it will pop up here. You'll have your most recent files that have been edited at the beginning, but you can search through whatever you like. Just click in, start typing, and start seeing the files you're looking for pop up right away. And there's a few ways to filter that search as well. So you can see the filters options there within the Drive icon. And again, once you've done that through Google Drive, it creates an automatic link for you. If you just click that link, it's going to open up a new tab, goes right to that lesson or whatever it is you had stored in Google Drive. All right, it's enough talking for me again. So again, hopefully the screenshots helped, but if not, I just thought I'd put a video demo here for you again to go through the basics of creating a lesson plan, using it, building. Again, you can adjust whenever you like. So here's the video. I'll pass it over to Louise if she wants to get that started. We'll post a link for here as well. And then after that, there'll be a chance for you to kind of go and play and ask questions. So I think it's about a 7 or 8 minute video again. It gives you a chance to see it in action and watch me kind of go through and show you it. And then you got a chance to play. So enjoy.
Okay, link is already in the chat, and here it comes in our web tour. And again, those of you on mobile devices, if your Blackboard times out while you're watching the video, just log right on back in again.
Okay, I'm going to ask Louise to jump us back into the presentation slides there and give everyone about another 4 or 5 minutes again to have their own chance to kind of go, play, jump in, try and build some lessons, try and add some attachments or access your Google Drive, and feel free to come back and answer any questions, and we'll do the best to answer them here. Again, if you've got a mic, feel free to put up a hand and jump on the mic and ask a question, or feel free to throw them over in the chat. One thing I'll highlight here too is people are asking questions about functionality and things they would like to see. One of my favorite things about the Chalk.com team is that they love feedback. If you're in there, you'll actually see sometimes like a talk to us or comment button or email us button. If you ever click on that, sometimes they're actually on. You can actually engage them in a live chat, or if not, they're not online, you can just fire them an email. They're usually really good about getting back within like 12 to 24 hours. And if you're looking for something and it's there, they'll help you find it. Or if not, a lot of times they will go and build it for you. Truth be told, I've probably asked in the past 3 years, probably about 15 or 20 features that they've gone and built at some point. I know a variety of other teachers who I've mentioned Planboard to, that I've just told them to do that, and they've come back to me like 3 days later, like so excited that the Chalk.com team actually went and coded it in for them and built it in what they wanted. So if you're looking for something, then ask tonight and I can help you find it. But if it's not there, I highly recommend you go to the Chalk.com team and say, hey, this is something I really want to use in my class. This is what I look for Planboard. And there's a good chance they might actually go and build it for you if it makes sense.
Just thought I'd jump in for a second. Andrew, you wouldn't happen to be speaking right now, would you? If you are, your microphone's off.
No, sorry, I wasn't. I was just giving people a few more seconds there to play around with Lesson Planning Builder or ask any questions they have.
Perfect. I always worry about the sudden silences when I'm updating the website.
Happy to hear, Denise. Susan, yeah, there is some overlap definitely with D2L. Actually, for those of you in the District School Board of Niagara, they have a partnership with Planboard and with D2L that they actually, within D2L, there's a link to click on Planboard and build your lessons in Planboard and then share them with your students through D2L. So that's one way they've looked at it. They kind of decided that Planboard was a much better way to build your lesson plans and that they're using D2L to kind of push those lesson plans out. But there is some overlap there. I'm an e-learning teacher myself too. I've got a section of e-learning. Me personally, I would much rather build in Planboard than D2L, but that's just me. I highly recommend going with whatever works best for you. Donna, I can actually say I was evaluated this year myself too, and Planboard did knock my VP socks off. I was just pulling up there and showing it to them, and they were pretty blown away. It's a pretty cool thing to show on how to keep yourself organized as well and get out to students and parents if you're up for sharing. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with Planboard. And we're only halfway through the presentation, although it won't be taking that much longer to get through it. Okay, unless there's any urgent questions right now, I'm going to continue on with the presentation. And it looks like that's a no. Yeah, Suzanne, they definitely are working on an Android app. That's been a big question from a lot of people, and I can definitely tell you it's in the works. I don't think it's an immediate timeline for them right now. I think the next thing that will be coming out will be an iPhone app from them, but then I know they are working on Android, and that's definitely a big ask they have coming their way. Okay, I'm going to continue on with the slides here. So a number of people have been asking about curriculum expectations. Again, when you went up and did the setup for your courses and created your subjects, you had the option there to add in specific curriculum to tie to that course. If you didn't do it, you can go back and do it. It's not something you need to do, but it is a really nice feature. Just so you know, Chalk.com works with countries all over the world. They have all of the curriculum for all of Canada, which is provincial, so each province is covered down, the territories. They've covered down pretty much every state. They have a lot of the American stuff in there as well, and a variety of other countries. So if you're looking through that, you need to be pretty specific with your search. If you just start typing in, say, grade 10 academic English, it might not pull up the one you're looking for. My recommendation, I mentioned this in the video earlier, and I know I saw some of the chat here, some of you kind of caught this already. If you put, say, like Ontario, grade 10, applied, English, 2P, it will usually pop up for you right away. Another thing to keep in mind when you're adding on the curriculum is that people can go and create their own and share them in there. So you want to look for the one that says Planboard Official beside it. If you're, again, you can go back into the settings and edit your courses and add that on if you want. But I'm going to show you what it looks like here and kind of how it's used. Okay, so basic curriculum expectations here. When you're in your lesson planner for a specific lesson, if you click on Add Standards, and again, they have a lot of American customers, so it says Standards, but we're used to saying curriculum expectations here in Ontario. If you click on Add Standards, a dialog box will pop up if you've tagged off a specific curriculum to that course. If you haven't, nothing's going to pop up for you there, but it might ask you to actually go and tag one off for it. If you have set the course for it, you'll have the variety of options there. And once you tag off specific ones, you'll see them listed there for you. So on the screen here, you can see it says A1, A2, A3. I can click on those and actually get the actual wording from them and pop up the dialog box to see what they actually stand for. And when you're adding them, you'll see the full dialog, so you can find the ones you want. So this is the box that pop up here. I see what has been added, what has been added. Again, this is where I can get the full text. I can click on Add and tag them off. If I add something and want to get rid of it, so if you go around and play here in a few minutes and would like to remove it afterwards, if you can see in this section, if you look down where it says A1, A2, A3, there's a little X beside those boxes. If I click that X, it will move it from there. Once I've added something on, I can go back and actually track and see what I have covered through the semester and what I haven't. So if I jump again here. So if you click on the three little horizontal lines in the top left-hand corner, and you go and click on, I think it's Standards Progression, you'll come to a screen that looks like this. I can see my 3 sections that I've got here from the start of the semester. I covered off 6 of the 85 specific curricular expectations for my 2D English course. If I click on that line, it will take me to a new page where it lists all 85 specific expectations, and I'll have little green bars beside the ones that I have covered and gray bars beside the ones I haven't. A really cool feature too that some people miss on this is when you're in that screen, if you hover over one of the green bars because you've taught a lesson for it or multiple lessons for it, it will actually highlight and give you the lessons where you covered those down. So if you want to say, okay, I'm pretty sure I covered this, and it says I did, but I want to find out what lesson it was and what I actually did with the class, you can actually hover over and it'll say like lesson 14 from September 20th, and you can click on that and it will jump right back into it for you. So you can go and find that very easily. It's a really, really nice feature to have as well. So this is kind of the screen I was talking about here. So I clicked on that green line. I would come to the screen, so I've covered down A1, 2, and 3. If I took my mouse and hover over one of those green bars, it will say like lesson 1, lesson 12, lesson 34, and those I can click on those and actually jump right to any of those lessons to see where I cover off those curriculum expectations. I found personally with Ontario's focus on growing success and looking at different products and different ways of doing evaluations and where we've covered our students, what we haven't, this has been a really nice feature for me. So if I'm looking to kind of figure out where I taught something in class or what I have covered or haven't covered, and I want to look at kind of student as a whole through growing success, I can come back and find those things very easily through Planboard. I'll do a quick plug here for Markboard as well, which is their new tool in the suite of apps. Planboard and Markboard kind of work together, and you can do a lot of tagging off that way and tracking of what you've covered, what you haven't covered, and how you've marked specific students on specific curriculum strands through Markboard. So it's a really nice feature as well. All right, that's kind of the basis I want to spend on curriculum there. The next piece I want to highlight for you is the unit planner. Some people really are excited to use the unit planner. Some people, it's just not their workflow. So when you're building a lesson, you can find a little spot that says units there, and you can create little units or tag off lessons for specific units. You can also come and edit those within the unit planner as well. So I jump ahead here. Just a quick reminder, if you're in your planner, you've got the day view, week view, month view, and unit view. And if you click on units, you go to the unit view, it's going to come to a screen that looks like this. You can click on any specific lesson and actually do editing here off to the right, but the focus here is more on the left. And you can kind of see all your units. They're tagged off by color. As you build the go, you can click and drag. If you hover your mouse over a specific title there, lesson plan, you'll see the little, it's kind of like a little cross almost. You can click on that. You can drag and move things around. Any adjustments you make in here will be done back in your planner. So you can kind of get a quick overview of the entire course and all the lessons you got planned. If you want to move some units around and move specific lessons around or take lessons out or add ones in, this is a great space to come and do it and see where they are and move them in. And again, any editing you do in the unit planner, when you go back to say your day view, week view, or month view, those changes will be there for you automatically. All right, so that's kind of the basic functionality that you can do with Planboard. But also one thing I really want to highlight here is the power of OTF Planboard specifically. And again, if you have a Planboard account already, but it's not OTF, you can just contact chalk.com, send them a quick email and say, hey, I really want to be upgraded to an OTF Planboard account. They'll click a button essentially, do a switch for you, and the next time you log in, it will show up there for you. If you're already logged in that way, again, I've highlighted a few of the features already, and one of the great things is you get unlimited cloud storage. You can upload as many Word files, PDF files, whatever you like. But the other really nice feature of OTF Planboard is that you get access to a large database of lessons that OTF has created for you. Okay, so if you have an OTF Planboard account, when you log into Planboard here, up towards the top right there, beside your account and your planner, you're going to see the little OTF tag. Again, if you don't have that tag there right now, it's because you just have a regular Planboard account. Again, just contact Planboard, let them know you want an OTF account, and they'll switch over for you. Okay, so if you come here on that screen, you click on that OTF symbol in the top right, it's going to take you over to a screen that looks like this. OTF has a large database here. I want to say it's over 250, but I might leave that to reasons here. I think there's at least over 200 different lesson plans in here. And they've got them organized pretty nicely. So you can look by specific subjects, you can organize these by categories, or they actually have a lot of tags on these lesson plans. So if you're looking to teach something very specific, you can actually just type something in, search for it. If OTF has it tagged off for you that way, you can find those lesson plans there as well. So again, if I click on a specific subject here, for example, science, I can see here and see the entire list of the science lesson plans as they're organized. They've got them sorted by grade here. You can see the notice being all free. And so I can scroll through and kind of look at them and click on them to see the content in there. They're very robust. I've looked through a lot of them. OTF's done a great job having them set up already. So if I click on the free button, it's going to jump me over to a screen that looks like this. Okay. I'll be able to see the content and look at the lesson plan itself. But say after I've looked at it and I want to actually add that to my Planboard account, I click on that free button, and then I'm going to get a dialog box that pops up and looks like this. It's going to ask me to choose my semester first. I only have that option there, so I want to click choose semester 1 here. And then I'll have my courses here from Planboard. I'm just going to click my course. So I just chose 2D English as an example here. And then it's kind of set up as like my unit view. So to get this in, I can see the lesson that shows up in at the top left there, and it's a blue bar. All I need to do is click and drag that down. And it says that it's in the instructions there at the top too. I can see my calendar, like my lessons I have planned and ones I haven't. And I can take this lesson, I can drag it down and drop it to any day within my planner. You can go back and edit it later. You can personalize it yourself. But all that content that's there from OTF will over for you. A lot of them have their handouts built in already. There's things to download, links to other things. They're really robust lessons. All right, so once you've done that, I'm just going to click ahead here. Okay, this is the shortest video and the last of the 3 videos I made for you guys, but just to kind of cover what exactly it looks like to go and add an OTF lesson to your account in Planboard, an OTF Planboard rather. There's a quick video here. I think it's only about maybe 3 or 4 minutes long. So I will pass over to Louise to play the video, go and have a quick look, and then afterwards you'll have a chance to kind of go and play then, look at the curriculum expectations, look at the unit planner, and try and see and look through the OTF Planboard account. Add some lessons there, and then we'll have a chance to take some questions again afterwards if you're having trouble landing. All right, enjoy. All right, Louise, so you do switch us back to the presentation slides there. Thank you very much.
Andrew, I have a quick question for you. I know that Susanna asked a question earlier, and I just thought that before you get on, I just want to make sure that we get that answered. So what she was wondering is if she were to create a homework page only to show her students and their parents lessons, does she need to reset all the classes, like set those up again?
To share those lessons that she created?
Yes, Susanna, if you have a microphone. Yep,
Yes.
there you go. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm actually here. What I was wondering, if I create my lesson plans, do I need to create just a homework page for all my classes? Since I don't want everybody to see all my lesson plans, what I have done, because obviously sometimes it's not really useful for some parents, right? So I know at my school we have to have our homework page set up as a website, and then I have my own lesson plans that I created at home.
Right, so it's really up to you how you want to organize that. Each teacher has their own kind of workflow. The way I use Planboard is I've got it set up just to be published online. I'm very much open-ended and open source. I'll put all my stuff online, anyone can have access to them. I know that workflow doesn't work for a lot of teachers too. It sounds like you're probably have some lessons where that would work and some where it wouldn't. So basically, like, you have those options when you're looking to share it, like as a web-based thing, that you can either create a unique link to a specific, it's just to that one lesson at a time, so that's a unique link that you can post and share. So you can email that out to parents if those specific ones are to your students, or post it to a website, and then other ones you choose not to do that.
Okay, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. All right, being conscious of time here, it does have a save and play. I only have one other quick thing to show everyone till the presentation's over, and then I'm happy to let people go and play and try. I'm happy to stick around and answer questions, or if not, people can get going on for their own night too. So again, I'm just going to ask you to pull back in for a sec. I got one other quick thing to go through, and then again, I'm happy to stick around and answer any questions people might have as we play and go and try and play with those. All right, so the last thing I want to highlight is what's called resources. Now this is just in the pilot phase right now. This is just about to be launched by Planboard. You have access through OTF as well. One thing I want to highlight that this is something, again, Planboard is a free account. It's free for OTF. Resources is one of the ways, like the way Chalk.com works, they have to pay the bills, is they charge for higher end features. And so this is something they're just adding in right now that's like a department could pay for on a small level, or a school board could purchase if they wanted to. But basically what the resources pilot is doing, I'm just going to jump ahead of the screen here, and this is what it looks like. There'll be a resources page to go to. You can have your course, your departments there. You can have any kind of groups you like. It can be by your school. So right now I can see Huron Heights Secondary School there for myself. I can also see HHSS English, which I created for my department. And basically you have the option, you don't need to, but any lessons you create, you can add them to resources and you can share them amongst department or share them amongst the school. So a really nice feature if someone in your department, if you work collaboratively, if someone goes and creates some great lesson plans or a great unit plan, they could go and dump them in here, and then everyone else within your department or within your school, depending on how you set it up, would have access to those specific units or lesson plans and could just quickly import them into their own lesson planning as well. So it's a really nice feature as a department or as a school to kind of share your content together if that's something you're looking to do. Again, there's no pressure to use this, no one needs to use it. It's just something that Planboard is developing right now to help teachers kind of share resources amongst each other. So I just want to do a quick message for that. I've been playing around with it in the pilot right now, and it's actually really cool. A number of teachers in my school have been using it back and forth and sharing lessons, and we've really enjoyed ourselves so far. Okay. Anyways, that takes care of the formal part of this presentation here. I'm happy to take any questions people may have. Again, thank you all for taking the time to come and listen to this presentation. I hope you really enjoyed Planboard. It's really made my lesson planning so much easier. I love sharing my lesson plans with parents and students. I've got a lot of great feedback on that as well. But it's been a really great tool to make my life much easier, so I hope it's kind of the same experience for you. So again, any questions, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to stick around, but if you want to get going, feel free to. The other thing I'll say about myself, I love connecting with teachers. I'm always happy to do this with OTF, but if you ever want to reach out, you've got questions for me, fire me an email, send me a tweet, grab me in Google+. Happy to work with anybody anytime. So I'll pass this over to Louise and Siri if they have anything to finish off here. But again, I'm happy to stick around if people have questions for a little bit.
Thank you so very much, Andrew, for your enthusiasm and for guiding us and providing clear direction on how to get started with OTF Planboard, and of course for sharing so many effective tips and suggestions. I'd like to thank each of you for giving of your time to participate in tonight's webinar and for sharing and collaborating in the chat. That was really wonderful to see. I certainly do hope that you'll be able to lighten your lesson planning with OTF Connects. Louise will be sending a follow-up email tomorrow with links to the recorded sessions and all the resources. Please take a few minutes to fill in the exit survey that Louise will put up on the screen at some point in the next few minutes. Thank you, Louise. The link is right there on the slide. We do use your feedback and suggestions to improve our program. One very good example is many participants in the past have asked if we could provide certificates for participation in OTF Connects webinars, and so I'm happy to announce that this year, for the first time, you will be able to get a certificate, and you will be the first to get a certificate because you're in the first session this year for participating in tonight's session. What you'll need to do is fill in the survey, and at the end of the survey, you'll be given instructions on how to create your own certificate, which you'll be able to print as a PDF. Thank you all again. And do share the link at the bottom of the page with your colleagues and encourage them to participate in our other sessions in the upcoming couple of weeks. But as of January, we're going to be starting quite a full program that runs from January through to June. I'd like to thank Louise for all her work in supporting us and making everything run smoothly always. Thank you all again and have a great night. Thank you, Andrew.
My pleasure, Syria. And thank you all again for taking some time out of your night. I'm always impressed by the dedication of teachers, giving up their own time to try and improve their practice. So I appreciate you all taking the time to come and join us.